E-mini playbook, October the 14th, looking at the market results Tuesday, checking out the sentiment of the market, looking at the winner for today. Who was in control, the bulls or the bears? Looking at the seven market moods and looking to establish which mood the E-mini S&P was in for today. And we are coming off of a major announcement on Friday, which drove the market down almost 300 points. And we are coming off the results of that today. So the question last week was, would we be able to break this upward trend that has been established going back to early April of 2025? We're seeing this trend well established to the upside. Would it get exhausted? Would it go into a trend pause? Would it go into a trend reversal? When the major move happened on Friday, there was the possibility for the market to go directly into a trend reversal and to go to the downside. However, looking at the results of market activity, we are seeing this candle, yesterday's activity, which was Monday, primarily an up day, a green candle. Today's activity, many would call this a hammer in that the market drives down and then it drives right back up to close within the range that it started at. Typically, technical trading would call that a very bullish sign. The bears tried to take control, tried to push the market down, tried to break this upward trend line, and it has not been able to break it. So it knocked it down and then it comes right back up. So we can confidently look at the results of today's activity as an answer to the question, would the bulls retain control? And the answer is that for traders that were involved in this long-term upward trend, they are technically seeing this downward spike, this freakish news coming out Friday as a buying opportunity. And they are coming in forced to buy the market back up to make sure that this trend line holds. So that is what we are seeing as a result of yesterday's activity, which was a holiday, and then also today's activity, which backs up the momentum. Going into the daily chart gives a very good overall picture. Going into the intraday chart, we see early market trading, pre-market trading before the New York Open. The market is in a sideways pattern, drifts down, and then as the New York session opened, we see an upward dash of activity. So bringing in the possibility for long trades as we're seeing the statistical dynamics. These indicators are not forward looking, they are backward looking, and they are taking market calculations to formulate statistics. So this crash barrier here going upward is giving a statistical calculation about the probability of the market, or when we are in an uptrend and we get this established crash barrier, it is a statistical gauge that is used to determine if the market has continued in the trend that has been established. So as we have these green dots going upward and we have this crash barrier giving support to the upside, as these pullbacks occur, there are ample opportunities to enter into. Fast forwarding into the later part of the day, we see here is where the crash barrier gets broken, and we see a very definitive drop downward, and that is giving an indication of a potential turn in the intraday activity of the market against this upward trend for the remainder of the morning. So we're seeing the playbook showing that the bulls have retained control and are pushing the market back up to where it was before the announcement on Friday, carrying that upward momentum and giving great confidence going into the rest of the week that this trend line will hold and will present opportunities to have a trend continuation. We wouldn't even call this a trend pause because it's a random activity or a random event. So there's not much sideways activity that's happening, which is typical of a pause. But we're just seeing this one day's down candle and then a continuation of the trend automatically. So we could call this a trend continuation going into Wednesday, October the 15th, the middle of the month. October typically shows downward activity. We're consistently seeing upward trends for this Emini S&P 500. Hope everyone traded well. Look forward to the activity going into tomorrow and have a wonderful evening.